For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Somebody sent me a WhatsApp message a few hours ago. I know Tim is going to blame Philip J. Pierre. For what? Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, and that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon. You'll be part of the conversation a little bit later by dialing 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026, and Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. We hope that you're having yourself an enjoyable Wednesday. It is a particular caller to this broadcast last week extended condolences to the people of St. Lucia. In advance of what? The anticipation and the expectation that we would be recording a few homicides just after he extended those condolences.
I want to join in and add my condolences in advance to all of St. Lucia. In advance. Because we never know who the next one is going to get the bullet. I want to join in and add my condolences in advance to all of St. Lucia. In advance. Because we never know who the next one is going to get the bullet. I want to join in and add my condolences in advance to all of St. Lucia. In advance. Because we never know who the next one is going to get the bullet.
There isn't so many things in St. Lucia that we can feel brave about when it comes to making predictions. Apart from the inclemency of the weather, would say, well, one day it will rain, another day we'll experience warm weather. You need not be a meteorologist to make that prediction in St. Lucia. But when you reach a point where and when you can extend condolences to the people of St. Lucia way in advance, as if you're clairvoyant, you have a crystal ball, you can predict when somebody will suffer at the hands of a criminal with an illegal firearm and ammunition, you know that we are in deep trouble. And too many people in this country are taking this for granted. Because the Prime Minister is only comfortable in boasting about economic growth. Whenever he says and he predicts, because he's into prediction as well, he tells you he will win all 17 seats come the next general election. On what basis? He tells you economic growth, reduced unemployment, and things of that nature. But he does not take into consideration factors such as the serious crime problem that is plaguing this country. And so many of our young men and young women are losing their lives in tragic circumstances, to the extent that we honestly do not know who is there next. What we know with a degree of certainty that we could very well be averaging 3 to 4 homicides on a weekly basis. Do you believe, against that background, the Prime Minister deserves another opportunity to serve at the helm of the government? And that will include to serve as the island's National Security Minister, even now as we speak. It is frightening for us to have reached that state of affairs in our country right now. And the Prime Minister does not take any kind of responsibility. He blames the criminals because I think he is into moral suasion, speaking to criminal elements on the basis that they too have a good conscience. They too can wilt under the weight of realizing that their misdeeds is causing a lot of harm to the people of this country, particularly a lot of parents, a lot of siblings, friends. So the Prime Minister continues to be in La La Land as far as crime is concerned. If you're going to take responsibility for economic growth in terms of statistics, why not take some responsibility for the serious crime problem that we're experiencing reflected in the number of homicides this year? I think officially it is being stated that we have had 11 homicides for 2025, but I think it is about 13. And we might get confirmation from the police whenever they deem it necessary to convene a press conference to provide us with the official statistics. But a 25-year-old was killed sometime either last evening or in the wee hours today at White Rock over in Groseley. Police responded at about 12:05 a.m. and the victim has been identified as Wendell Edward, a resident of White Rock, Grosele, but he is originally from Marshall. Suffered multiple gunshot wounds. So again, we are at about 13 homicides for this year. And yet still, even before NewsSpin came on the air about 10 minutes ago, somebody was already commenting on a particular Facebook page and anticipating that I would be blaming the Prime Minister. The person says, Timothy gonna blame PJP today again. My response is, why shouldn't I blame him? And will continue to remind him, because he boasted prior to the 2021 general election that he was the most readied individual to serve as the island's Prime Minister, to take care of the economy, address issues relating to health care, education, crime, you name it. He was just so well prepared. And we'll remind him yet again today. Now, then you were ready? Ready then, yes. Dr. Anthony, even then?
Even then, ready.
And then
Alan Chasley,
then
and Von Lewis,
Dr. Von
and
Lewis.
John Compton, and George Charlton have been the most readied.
Because of what? Your years in politics?
Because my experience, my ministerial experience, based on ministerial experience, I've been the most ready.
This speaks volumes as far as the Prime Minister is concerned. And also, the fact that you're in a job for 100 years does not mean that you're the most readied to become the managing director, to serve as the general manager, the financial controller, head of the human resource development. Does not mean anything. All it says is that you have been there for a long time. So the Prime Minister says that whenever the elections are called, the St. Lucia Labour Party will win all 17 seats. And their supporters who believe in that. If they have $1, no doubt they will bet that $1 that if general elections were to be called tomorrow, the Prime Minister will win all 17 seats. And so he said recently, I think he was in Barbados at the time, on the sidelines of the 48th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting when speaking with reporters there.
Anytime we have elections, my party will win all the 17 seats. We've worked hard. We've transformed St. Lucia.
Now, not into making predictions, so I don't know whether he will win or the SLP will win all the 17 seats if elections were to be called tomorrow. But I suspect, based on a certain WhatsApp video that is in circulation, the Prime Minister has his doubts. What he says in Barbados, what he says in Dominica very often is not what he will say in St. Lucia.
Even if our chances of winning elections are becoming slimmer and slimmer, that we understand that we have a country that will exist when all of us are gone. Even if our chances of winning elections are becoming slimmer and slimmer, that we understand that we have a country that will exist when all of us are gone.
The island's Prime Minister speaking in Parliament yesterday, and it was a hell of a sitting of Parliament. So many things occurred, and we'll be revisiting those incidents during the course of our broadcast this afternoon, and no doubt you will be getting an opportunity to have your say along with the comments in the chat room. Amanda, no doubt, will be going through some of them between now and 2 o'clock this afternoon. We are also trying to establish contact with a couple of people, and of course, we will be playing you some more inserts during the course of our program this afternoon. So please stand by for that as we open the lines right now at 452-2979. Once again, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. Now, many of us have an issue with WASCO, because WASCO reported that they would be shutting down the water supply in the island's north by tomorrow. And that would have given many people an opportunity to prepare for this disruption in service. But to our consternation and our surprise, many people in the northern part of the island, people at Union and a host of other areas, that water supply has been disrupted for weeks now. For weeks now, many people have been without water. And their water tanks are now empty as we speak today. But yet still, WASCO is still on course tomorrow to disrupt its operations in the north. God help us all. Amanda, good afternoon to you. What is happening in the chat room?
Good afternoon, team. Good afternoon, News Spinners. Someone says there, so it looks like we have a homicide every day. Another comments, look, it's SLP supporters. PJP said the victory is slipping away from them. What is happening or going on in St. Lucia? Another comment reads, the team PJP can say that because he knows that his supporters will believe it. Sad but true. He knows how to speak to the greater population of St. Lucia. I hate to say it, but most people are not thinking for themselves. We are in trouble with this psychological game. Another comment reads, how come Mia Motley had the balls yesterday to fire a few ministers and senators, and not one of these big wigs cannot get fired?
We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hello, good day. Good afternoon. Hello, yes. Timothy.
Yes, good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Am I on the air?
Yes, you are.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Yes. Timothy, I'm really calling to speak about the situation affecting women today in light of the recent murders we have had, where women have been murdered or very seriously injured, and some of their families have also been seriously injured. And of course, we heard of Mr. Labadee's passing. And I want to deal with Virginia Albert's response or lack thereof regarding these murders. Before I go to Virginia Albert, Timothy, I would like us to get an update on these investigations. I don't know what the most recent update is on these investigations. We're talking about Alana Bernard, Jolie William. You know, when serious crimes happen, we really need the police to assure us that these criminals are found and brought to justice. Timothy, we need to, in whatever hole they are hiding, they need to be fished out. Long ago, long ago, when I grew up, there would be a manhunt for these criminals, Timothy. And I just would like the police to let us know at what stage of the investigation they are at and whether these criminals have been apprehended. They must be somewhere. They must be eating. They must be sleeping somewhere. If they have not been apprehended, is someone providing cover for them? We must not rest until these criminals are brought to justice. That's the first thing I want to see. Timothy, the system has failed these women and their families. I listened maybe last week, I heard Mr. Louis Murray speak of Verlinda Joseph, and I think Rick afterwards spoke of Mary Ratcliffe. and how these women did all the right things. And then because of doing the right thing, they suffered. They were murdered as a result. So I'm talking now about Virginia Albert's response or her lack thereof. After taking so long to speak out, I see in the St. Lucia Times 2 press releases that the Minister for Gender Relations, and I should say the so-called Minister for Gender Relations, has put out. And this tells me how hopeless she is as a minister. Now, Timothy, I recall that when I was on your Newsmaker Live last year, you asked me what I thought about Virginia Albert and Emma Hippolyte. And I declined to comment on them. Because to be honest with you, Timothy, we need women in politics. We need women at all levels of politics. We need women in government. We need women in opposition. Because I believe that women can best represent the interests of women. I'm not saying that men cannot, but I think in a unique way, women can represent the interests of women. So I am very hesitant to criticize a woman in politics, whether she be on the side that I oppose or whether she be on the side that I support. I'm very reluctant. And I do it only if it's necessary. So Virginia Albert, and I am looking at a St. Lucia Times press release of February 25th. Virginia Albert, and I'm quoting her, Virginia Albert says, and she's speaking on the murder of Alana Bernard and Jolie Williams, when she finally found her voice. She's saying, and I'm quoting her, "It is alleged that there were some threats, and the victims were aware of the threats. But what apparently happened is that they did not know where to turn. They were not aware of who could have been of support to them. And in the absence of that information, they must have kept it to themselves, and they thought all would be safe." And then she goes on to say, "My position is that we need to take action. It is not just making a statement, but it is to take action. And the action is that we need to ensure that we put mechanisms in place to protect all women and men in St. Lucia." Timothy, do you know Virginia Albert had the gall to make this statement? And even as she's saying, the women did not know where to turn. You know, she has a shelter closed for almost 2 years. Timothy, do you know that?
Yes.
The shelter that is supposed to protect these women, Virginia Albert has it closed for 2 years. And she's saying that the women were not aware of who could have been a support to them, right? And they did not know where to turn. When the very place they have to turn, you have the doors closed. Timothy, do I speak
But
angry?
she also said during that interview that the center is not controlled by the government or is run by the government. It's a statutory.
It's not run by the government.
What she said
Who
is
is running it?
It's a statutory corporation. Now, I mean, Wasco.
Since when? It is not.
Wasco is a statutory
It is not.
corporation, but it's owned by the government. And also,
Timothy.
the information I'm receiving as well, if it is a statutory corporation, how do you pay the staff? I mean, is it coming from the
Where is
coffers
the
of the
act that
government?
created it?
Yeah.
If it is a statutory corporation, there's an act that created it. Where's the act? Timothy, Virginia Albert has to be brought up for this. Virginia Albert, we have to find her, put her in a chair and make her sit down and answer questions. Because we are talking about women who have lost their lives. Timothy, do you know Jolie Williams? When I read the press release, it said that Jolie Williams was killed when she was at a guest house, right?
Yeah.
The press release from St. Lucia Times, February 21, says she was at a guest house with another female friend. And that is where she was killed. And the second victim victim was seriously injured, another woman. You know what I understand, Timothy? Those women were at that guest house hiding away from the perpetrator. They should have been at the shelter. Right? Because when we established that shelter in 2001, on September 27th, 2001, when we established that shelter, I was the minister in office at the time. Okay, Timothy? 2001, what? Is it 24 years ago?
Yes.
That shelter established and we put it in place. That shelter has been run. When it was being run, when we established it, everything was in place. We had transportation to pick up the women. It is still in a secure location that you cannot access. These women had no right being at a guest house while a man was on the road looking for them. Timothy, I sound angry. I apologize for that. But I am not accepting Virginia Albert's empty words, empty promises. I'm not accepting it. I am not accepting it. She has to come again. You see, Virginia Albert, she was happy to say that she passed a new Domestic Violence Act, right? That very act that the government passed, that she was happy to talk about. And I commended her when she stood in Parliament and speak about it. That act empowers her to provide services, including immediate transportation from the victim's residence to a medical center or shelter or other place for the victim. When you strengthen the law, when you are encouraging a woman to stand up to protect herself, you must also strengthen the safety net so that when she speaks up for herself, she's not in more danger. Virginia Albert, open the shelter. Stop talking, do your work, and open the shelter. It has been closed for almost 2 years. The staff are sitting inside there, and not one woman can access the shelter. Timothy, I wanted to say more, but I think I've said enough for today. As Virginia Albert says, it is time for action. In another press release, she put out 2 press releases recently. In another one, where she's talking about International Women's Day that's coming up, she has quickly shifted already. She's left the women alone already. And although the theme for International Women's Day says for all women and girls, rights, equality, and empowerment, she's already shifting to male marginalization. I'm not saying the issue of men is not important. I'm not saying that. But this woman does not get it. She does not recognize, she does not accept any responsibility for what is happening to our women. She does not realize that she's partly responsible for the deaths of these women because she has shut the door of the shelter on them. And there are some women who should not put themselves up for office. And Virginia Albert is one of them. She's failed all women of St. Lucia. SLP, UWP, no P. She's failed every woman in St. Lucia. And we need her to go. Timothy, that's what I have to say.
Thank you so much.
I sound angry, but there are times when anger is necessary because women are dying, their families are dying, and we've had enough.
Thank you so much for your contribution, ma'am. Former Government Minister, Mrs. Sarah Flood Bowburn, to my attention now to Amanda, and let's see what's happening in the chat room.
Someone says here, when you are out of St. Lucia, you represent the country, not party. Another comment reads, the country will exist, but the people perish by your negligence. Someone says here, in or out of government, Sarah Flood has always been vocal on women's rights. A NewsSpinner says here, we need more than people with vaginas in Parliament. We need women to stand up and speak out against issues affecting women. Another comment reads, Timothy Poleon, I would like to know if you are going to tell Shasney the way he behaved in the house yesterday was not right. Another comment reads, Call, I disagree with you because it's proven that most time men handle women issues better than the women who supposedly are in position to effect change. Another comment reads, So Virginia is not aware of the content of the very act she passed. Shake my head. Someone says here in the chat room, it looks like the ministers in this administration suffer from the same disease. They do not know, they do not hear, and they do not remember.
A well-known St. Lucian who is living and working in North America says the Sarah Flood Bobra is on point in all aspects. That's the sort of response and outcry that ought to have been given. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you. Is that Mr. Bradley Felix?
This is Mr. Bradley Felix, Parliamentary Representative for Shozal Saltivus.
Go ahead, sir.
Tim, yes, thank you very much for the opportunity. I thought it very necessary to call your show this afternoon, considering your label as the most monitored talk show in St. Lucia.
In the world, sir. Get it right. In the world.
In the world.
In the world.
Team. In the world. I would support that.
St. Lucia is too small for NewsSpin.
Tim, I thought it necessary because there seemed to be significant traction on a post on social media which pertains to me walking out of the Parliament yesterday. And Tim, I think, first of all, I must categorically deny what is being said on that post, which suggests that I walked out because I was upset with the leader of the opposition while he was making his contribution yesterday.
And I think we have a video, so while you're speaking, we'll just show it. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Tim, contrary to what is being said, I actually walked out because I was not very happy with the treatment that was being meted out to the leader of the opposition. And I felt he was not being given, the opportunity to explain a legitimate concern which has been ongoing in our political fields, Tim. In fact, I believe the post seemed to be a very desperate attempt to spin the reality of what took place yesterday, Tim. Tim, I will try to sum it up. Yesterday, we had the bill, which is the real estate agency bill. And I remember the leader of the opposition turned to me and he said, how can I use this bill to respond to some of the allegations that the member for Central Castries had said earlier? I responded to him and I said to him, I doubt very much you will get an opportunity because this is such a simple bill that unless somebody would open that door for you, the Speaker of the House would not give you that opportunity. He said, let's wait and see. But Tim, when the member for Castries Southeast was making his contribution, he opened that door very, very wide for the leader of the opposition. He said, Tim, that had we had a real estate agency bill in place, this would have given governments the better options on making decisions on PPP. He spoke about hospitals. He spoke about Uranora International Airport. He spoke about the Banan lands. See, when he was saying that, and the records can show that, I opened my hands very wide in my seat, and I said, looking at him, you have just opened that door very wide. I turned to the leader of the opposition and I said to him, here is your opening. Tim, when the leader of the opposition was making his contribution, there was interruptions from the member of Central Castries. The Speaker of the House also interjected to the point where the Speaker of the House did something which is not very usual. He said to the police officer, could you please get the clerk to bring up the documents as it relates to the Orange Grove Plaza? Tim, I suspect maybe the clerk was taking too much time. the Speaker of the House decided himself to go down, and at that time he called the member for Vieux South to hold in as Deputy Speaker. Tim, the Speaker came back up and he read the contents of that Orange Grove agreement or land sale. It was while he was reading this, the leader of the opposition indicated, but based on that land sale, there is an agreement that should also be referred to. The Speaker of the House responded, and the Speaker of the House said, I have ruled in this thing, and this matter is closed. The leader of the opposition indicated, but I am trying to explain to you the whole issue with regards to the agreement. The Speaker of the House said, if you do not take your seat, I will have no choice but to have the officer put you out. The leader of the opposition said to the Speaker of the House that you will do what you have to do. Okay? Tim, at that point in time, when the Speaker of the House told the leader of the opposition that I will have the police put you out, there was this very subtle communication, an unspoken communication. I noticed the leader of the opposition was packing up his documents, which in my mind, okay, which has been a practice that we were going to walk out of the house at the time. And considering that this was the last bill, and in my mind, a bill that was a very straightforward bill, and the leader of the opposition was not being given the opportunity to explain the additional components of that agreement, I decided as well that I would walk out in disgust with regards to the leader of the opportunity not getting the opportunity to do what he had to do, Tim. Okay? So, Tim, at that point in time, I stood up and I decided to walk out of the house. While walking out of the house, I heard the member for Central Castries bawl out, look, Bradley Felix is leaving you alone in the house. Okay? The leader of the opposition decided that it was an opportune time for him to continue to indicate that he had a right to explain to the people of St. Lucia, okay, what the agreement was all about with regards to the Orange Grove Plaza. Because for too long, we have listened to the spins and the lies, particularly from the member of Castries Central, okay, and we were not given the opportunity to debunk these lies, Tim, I left, I went up north, and I went back down because we had a meeting in Miku that night. The leader of the opposition was also at that meeting, and I took the opportunity to indicate to St. Lucia that there was no problem with myself and the leader of the opposition. We took a picture. I posted something on it. I have also listened to the leader of the opposition this morning in his press conference, which I felt was a very good press conference, and I think urge St. Lucians to take a listen to it, Tim. But Tim, at the end of the day, I believe the opposition is very desperate in their attempt to try to suggest that there's conflict between myself and the leader of the opposition and that I walked out. This is the furthest from the truth, Tim, and I thought it necessary to call your show to put this thing once and for all to rest. So, I did not walk out. Yes, Tim.
Yeah, let me ask you one question. And we have the clip of the MP for V4 South. We've been playing it for years. Dr. Kenny Anthony says that anything is possible in politics. So I'm asking you the question, is it possible that before the next general election, you can change allegiance and be a member of the SLP and contest the next general election on behalf of the St. Lucia Labour Party?
Tim, I will tell you categorically, I am not a backstabber. I will never be a backstabber. What you see is what you get. If there ever comes a point in time when I cannot continue in the United Workers' Party as a parliamentary representative for Shosal Saltibus, because I am a public official, I will make it known to my constituents. I will make it known to St. Lucia. I will make a public message. I'll put out a public message on it, Tim. But I have no intentions of leaving the United Workers' Party to run the seat for the Shosal Saltibus seat under any other ticket. That is final, Tim. At the end of the day, there are people who have put their trust and the confidence in me, not only as a representative of the United Workers' Party, but also as Bradley Felix, knowing what I bring to the table, Tim. Nothing can sway me from representing the people. Tim, I always tell people who are close to me, nothing gives me greater pleasure when the people that I represent tell me, Moje Kai Beniu. When somebody, particularly the senior citizens of a community, tell you, Moje Kai Beniu, and that does not hit your conscience, and you feel for selfish reasons or for whatever reasons, you are going, Tim, to cross the floor on them, Tim, that is an immediate ticket, Tim, to hell.
Thank
you. I am not that personality.
We will not forget that. I'm sure the audience will not forget it. And for posterity, we have the recording, sir.
Definitely, Tim.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. You just heard that from the MP for Choiseul Saltibus, Mr. Bradley Felix. He made reference to the development in the House of Assembly, and that is pertaining to that real estate initiative between the government under the Amazona Properties Limited and the developer, which is Orange Grove Plaza Limited. And let us listen to the Speaker of the House in that exchange with the Leader of the Opposition yesterday.
Member, without any further interrupting you, may I? And when we go through this, it shall not be raised in this House again. There is a document transfer by Amazona Properties Limited to Orange Grove Plaza Limited, dated December, well, we got it here, December 5th, 2022. It says, whereas the vendor is signed before Mark Mirage, Notary Royal, practicing between Amazona Properties Limited, represented by Director Francis Dembo and Benjamin Emmanuel, and for Amazona Properties, and Orange Grove Plaza, represented by its Director Blue Investments, Ramon Esper, PIF Corporate Services Incorporated, the purchaser. Whereas the vendor is desirous of developing the property and has for the purpose entered into that certain development agreement with the purchaser dated 27th February 2020, prior to the execution of this deed, hereinafter called the development agreement, witness as follows. In consideration of the sum of $5 million United States dollars, or 13,584,500 Eastern Caribbean dollars, paid by way of the mutual undertakings of the parties hereto as set forth in the development agreement and the obligations of the purchaser as developer to the vendor, the adequacy whereof is hereby mutually accepted by both parties. The vendor hereby sells and conveys free and clear of all encumbrances unto the purchaser thereof, accepting the immovable property described in the first schedule hereto. First schedule. All that parcel of land situated at Bois d'Orange in the quarter of Grosley and registered in the land registry as block 1253B, parcel 888 in the registration quarter of Grosley, and it goes to give north, south, east, and west. Together with all the appurtenances and dependents thereof, including the building erected thereon. This is a dead issue. It's not going to go there again.
So, Mr. Speaker, and I know that you know law.
No, I don't. I'm reading as a layperson. It says all the land and all buildings thereof for 13,000. No, let's move on.
No, 13 million. And Mr. Speaker, it makes reference to the agreement. And therefore, it's in the agreement that it's described.
Member from Miku South, the issue is dead. The transfer deed says the land bordered XYZ and all buildings thereon. This was debated. I have brought this back to the House only for the record. It is not something I intend to do in the future. Once the House has ruled, the laws are very clear in the standing orders. We cannot re-litigate something that has already been litigated. So please move on, Member.
So, Mr. Speaker, I am going to stand up for what I believe is to be right. In the same lease that
I shall not permit you to proceed.
But I'm going
and
to
if
proceed.
I'm going to have the officer remove you.
Then you do what you have to do, Mr. Speaker.
I will do what I have to do every time.
I will not allow you to misinterpret a legal document. It is clear that it speaks about the agreement. If
I've cut off his mic, let him talk.
All right, this is what transpired in the island's parliament yesterday. I think what the leader of the opposition was also prepared to say is that there are other aspects of the agreement that is being ignored. But let me take you back to a few years ago. We had this report, it was aired on Hot TV News, making reference to the completion of this project, the Orange Grove Plaza, and the fact it is ready to be by various government departments, government agencies, and government ministries. And up to today, the 26th of February, this has not been done, several years after that project was completed.
The Orange Grove Plaza, formerly the Dyer Mall in Bois de Ouange, will soon be home to a few government offices as well as some other agencies, so says Labour Minister Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot. The information was disclosed ahead of Tuesday's parliamentary sitting. According to Poyot, discussions are ongoing as to which government offices will be relocated. The Dyer Mall building was first discussed in the public domain when it was purchased by the UWP administration in 2006 under the stewardship of then Prime Minister Stephenson King. After 15 years and successive administrations, no work was done on the structure, owing to a lack of funding. The Dyer Mall again garnered public scrutiny when it was announced that the bottom floor of the edifice was sold to a private entity who would complete the entire project, then allow the government to repurchase the property via a rent-to-own agreement. The announcement, which was made in June 2021, just prior to the general elections, sparked heavy criticism from the then SLP opposition. At the time, Dr. Hilaire chastised Alan Chasney for miring the country in debt, alluding that the entire building was sold to the developer for a fraction of the true cost. Hilaire also claimed that the government would be paying $56.4 million in rent to the developer over the course of the lease. Chasney fired back, stating that not only was the claim that the entire building was sold false, but that the lease-to-own agreement would save the government of St. Lucia an estimated $275,000 a month or $50 million over the course of the agreement. To substantiate his claim, Chasney pointed out that the government was currently paying an average of $7.50 per square foot in rent, whereas the agreement was for $4 a square foot, a savings of $3.50 per square foot. The building has since been completed and rechristened the Orange Grove Plaza. On Tuesday, Poyot confirmed that the developer had in fact completed their obligations as per the lease agreement and that the government has retained the top 2 floors of the building.
The Orange Grove? Yeah. Well, they have completed the construction and government has to do the retrofitting for us to use the space. We are still in discussion as to which ministries are likely to occupy that space as well as some other agencies, because we have 2 floors, the first and second floor.
Poyot further confirms that the government will in fact own the space after they have completed payment as per the lease agreement.
This will be owned by government after we have paid it off for almost 16 and a half years. So right now we have completed the exercise. The contractor has finished the construction up to where they agreed to, and government now has to take it from there. in terms of retrofitting the space and deciding which agencies will occupy the space.
And that was a Hot TV report. It appears that this is a similar deal to what was signed between the government of St. Lucia just recently and those who are involved in the construction of the halls of justice. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. Still to come, some more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and who knows, we might have a few surprises for you.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
NewsSpin is transforming how you move. With our new electric vehicle charging stations, getting a quick and reliable charge is easier than ever. From Rodney Bay to Dennery, Vieux-Fort and Soufriere, we've got you covered. Our cutting-edge network offers both fast and standard charging options. Convenient, efficient, and always ready when you are. Just download the Flash Charge app from Google Play or the Apple App Store, and with a few simple taps, you can set up an account and link it to a credit card. Find a station or scan the QR code to start charging in seconds. Lucilac is powering your journey and driving us toward a cleaner, greener future. Charge ahead with Lucilac's EV stations. Lucilac electric vehicle chargers, powering progress, energizing the future.
Taco Thursdays at Senior Snapper from Thursday, 13th February 2025 and every Thursday.
St. Lucia, your Thursdays just got a whole lot better. After work, there's only one place to be. Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper Seafood Grill and Margarita Bar.
In Cruzley Town, that is Marie-Therese Street.
Live DJ, fresh tacos, and island vibes. What more do you need? Tacos for just $10 plus 2-for-1 margaritas and mojitos to keep the good times flowing.
Thursdays is Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper.
For it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Are you tired of going from doctor to doctor, spending time and money, yet still not getting the answers you need? Now, at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, we bring you the latest in medical technology, our state-of-the-art radiation-free full-body MRI. With unmatched accuracy, we can detect illnesses early, giving you the answers you deserve and the treatment you need, saving lives and saving money. No doctor referral needed. Results in just 24 to 48 hours. Plus, a free consultation with a doctor to explain all your results in detail. Don't wait. Take advantage of this special offer and book your full body MRI at our Cocoville, Rodney Bay, or Castries locations. Call 451-6559 now. La Clinique du Corps. Your health is our priority.
Don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Butay. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
St. Lucia, it's time to celebrate 46 years of independence with a big deal from KFC. Introducing the KFC Independence Big Box, packed with all your favorites for just $46. You get 5 delicious undipped wings with 1 sauce, 1 zinger or big crunch sandwich, 2 pieces of chicken, 2 regular fries, and 2 refreshing 16-ounce sodas. Perfect for sharing or keeping all to yourself, because independence is all about choice. But hurry, this big deal is only available from February 1st to February 28th. Get your Independence Big Box today, only at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Get ready for the all-in Independence Sale at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt. Enjoy 25% off store-wide on small appliances, housewares, tools, and so much more. Plus, don't miss out on our amazing doorbuster deals from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's the perfect time to save on your favorite brands. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Visit us at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, island-wide from February 27th to March 2nd for the all-in Independence Sale event. Terms and conditions may apply. See online or in-store for more details.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Don't forget as well, join me this evening, 8:30 on Newsmaker Live on DBS Television. And my guest is the leader of the Parliamentary Opposition, Mr. Alan Chansney, from 8:30 tonight on Newsmaker Live. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
ATB, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. How about you?
I'm fine. Amanda, how are you?
Good afternoon, Cole. I'm fine.
Did I hear correctly that the Speaker of the Parliamentary, or the Speaker of Assembly, House of Assembly, vacated the seat yesterday to go and gather information?
Yes, he did.
Okay. I find that very unusual. I don't want to get mixed up in these kind of incidents. But I served as the Sergeant at Arms in the House of Assembly for 7 consecutive years with 2 different speakers. One of the most respected, W. Sinclair Daniel, and Matthew Roberts. And not once did I ever witness those 2 gentlemen vacating their seats, not even for a toilet break. Right? These 2 gentlemen, I would sit with them for a briefing prior to the sitting, and they would instruct me as to what was expected of me. And not once did I ever witness them getting up from the chairs to vacate the chambers, which I find that very, very irregular. But enough of that thing. Tim, I heard you mention about the murder rate being at 13.
Not the murder rate, the number of homicides.
The number of homicides, sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tim, I can confirm that the first 2 homicides in St. Lucia happened in the town of Soufrière. Both victims were from Targus. One name was Montrose, and the other I can't recall right now. These were the 2 first homicides for the year. The second one, the third one was a gentleman from Mac, a young man in the wee hours of the morning. He was walking alongside his girlfriend, and he was shot and killed. Both of them got shot, but the gentleman got killed. The fourth one was the CPGA employee who was killed at Bel Air. The 5th was a young man from Sarat, a 22-year-old, who got shot after getting his supper on his mother's doorstep. The 6th was my niece-in-law from Corinth. The 7th was a gentleman from Marigot. The 8th was a gentleman from Deriso. The 9th was a gentleman from Roselle. The 10th was a young lady at Rodney Bay. The 11th was my cousin-in-law from industry. The 12th was a gentleman on Sunday at Poleon. And the 13th was the young man yesterday at Rock Hall, at White Rock. So, team, anybody can spin, anybody can turn. I am keeping the records. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution. Certainly, this individual is taking his notes and monitoring the crime situation in this country, particularly the number of homicides. We have another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Rick.
I think, in my humble opinion, my opinion is never humble. That word doesn't go with me, does it? Tim, in my opinion, every time you have cause to present to your audience an issue with the speaker, this particular speaker of the House, in which he's central, I think you ought to begin with playing that video where he exposes himself naked to the public on TV. Do you know what video I'm talking about?
Was it the bazooka clip?
I beg your pardon?
Is it when he made the bazooka statement and he said that he would be defending the party to the hilt?
The one where he says, "No one, Mr. Nice Guy.
Mm-hmm.
You attack his party, he's coming for you. He's getting his bazooka and all that." And that was the night before a particularly controversial House sitting. You remember that?
Yes, I remember.
Okay. So in a situation where you have a hateful House, I don't think anybody's going to argue that House just bubbles with hate. I don't. Is the argument not?
Well, from my end, none.
Eh?
From my perspective, none. No
for
argument.
most people, I'm saying that is almost taken for norm. There is nobody there who the two sides, the Bradley Felix and the Shasta side versus the other side. The ocean between them is an ocean of hatred. I'm not going to blame anyone particularly for that. I would just leave it. I could, but I would just leave it to that there's a bubbling cauldron of hatred between those people. And the speaker has rendered himself a major factor in that hatred by the things he has said, etc. But in particular, that one on TV. So that nobody in his right mind expects that speaker to demonstrate any kind of patience, any kind of levity, any kind of accommodation for the purposes of democracy, to lean over to one side a little bit because of the 15, how many of them against one man. I mean, this is so absurd. It's become a major absurdity to have a meeting of Parliament with about 16 guys against one, predetermined to call him every name under the sun. He's a thief. He's a white man. He doesn't love the poor. I mean, all of those childish mépris. You don't love the poor. You know, anybody who is pretending to love the poor is because he is himself feeding off the poor. Nobody should love poverty. They should love people and do everything possible to eliminate this idea of poor people. people in a country. I hope that's misunderstood and some idiot doesn't try to say, I don't like people who are poor as people and so on. No, I'm saying something a little more profound. I'm saying we should endeavor not to have poor people in our country so that we don't have to make references to the poorest of the poor, how you love them and whatever, and that you are special because you love the poorest of the poor. That is absurd. Am I clear on that?
Absolutely, sir.
Because I'll be very, very clear by English. I know sometimes it goes over the heads of certain people, conveniently. Yeah, yesterday, I'm not even interested in what went on in the House, per se, because the Hayekase and behaving like animals or whatever, we've seen it a number of times, and that's another tip you should put in, so we can put, but we would be into this kind of, what they love to do, hang on to the, about whataboutism. Whenever you hear a guy citing whataboutism, because he knows damn well he was wrong in the first place, and two wrongs don't make a right, but neither does one wrong make a right. Okay. At the root of all of those explosions is this Speaker of the House, because he has an attitude himself to his party and to the Shasne in particular, and elections are around the corner, and everything he lives for is wrapped up in this delusion of him having power. Do you remember when that speaker said he was the second most, well, he was head of the Senate then, he was the second most powerful person in the country?
Yes, I can.
And do you know, he said it a second time, and also as a matter of being a judge, he said it last year, I think it was, that he's the judge in the House. And yesterday he said it again, he's the judge in the House. He is not the goddamn judge. This guy is just so wrapped up in the notion of being a lawyer, of being something of the court. He used the word litigate. He said, once a thing has been litigated in the House, that's over. It's over and done. Did you hear him say that?
Yes, I did.
If you would have, it would take 2 seconds for your
my producer? It will take more than 2 seconds.
Commander. Your producer is commander. To check out for you the definition of litigate. Litigate something to the law. It has to do with the law in court.
Yes.
But this guy is so hung up on this matter of he's a lawyer in his own mind that all his utterances are court utterances.
It says there resort to legal action to settle a matter, be involved in a lawsuit. It also says take a claim or dispute to a law court.
Everything about the word litigate has to do with law. But the speaker with his malaprops, most of them are associated with law, with being a lawyer, with being a judge. There's a difference between a judge in a court and a speaker in a house. A load of difference. And what speakers are advised to avoid are anything to do with interpreting law and court matters, but he's into that. The man began by saying, in effect, as I understood him, that he shouldn't be doing what he's doing by bringing that document, right?
Yeah.
But he's going to do it just this once. Am I right?
Yeah.
Did I understand that properly? Yeah?
You tell me, Rick.
I just want to be very clear to you. Okay. So he does something that he shouldn't be doing, and he tells you he shouldn't be doing it, but he's going to be doing it once and never again because the matter has been litigated. In other words, the House has debated this thing. It's on the record. If you're going to do anything, just quote it and move on if you have to. But he has to bring it there, doing something he knows damn well is likely to cause contention in the House, etc., etc. What other purpose they bring it for? And then you deny the one man on the other side, you deny him an opportunity to make himself clear on the issue, Tim. You're looking for trouble. The speaker should be looking out to dampen any kind of fires in the House. He is in charge of the conduct of the House. This guy makes his own rules. sounds crazy. He sounds like he really believes he's a powerhouse. I've said to this man so many times publicly, he has no power except the authority given him by the standing orders. You know, as long as this man is in the House, and you have Alan Chasney on the other side, not to mention others on the other side, especially when he has gotten a little flattery. Like yesterday, I knew there was trouble coming when one MP told him he appeared near death. I mean, really? Do you expect to hear those kind of things in Parliament? What the hell? If the MP wanted to congratulate the Speaker for beating death, and how he came to his home and he beat death and all that, shouldn't that be a private matter?
It ought to be.
How does that serve as an introduction to parliamentary debates? Huh? But the Speaker of the House is so vulnerable to any form of flattery that we see the result. I could go on that, Tim, but you know you're going to have to bear that kind of get my bazooka. It's bound to come up until this House closes. And you will notice I'm not telling you Alan Chasney was right. I didn't even really follow right or wrong in this issue. It is the Harika say the disgusting thing and all that thing of this all the show business of turning up the mic and you could I don't think the standing orders tells anybody to turn up the mic on anybody, and while he turns off the mic he leaves the pictures going on, so everybody's left to speculate on what is really going on there. And there are other videos with similar stuff where the Speaker is basically told to shut up and you can do what you want. I'm going to sit and stand as I please. And the Speaker was a woman, and a bunch of grown-ass men taking advantage of her. 10 of them or how many of them. And you look at that tape and the Speaker looks like she wants to run, a woman. And these are the guys that are going to talk about order in the House and so on. Oh, my Lord. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much, Rick. As we're getting all set to go into another commercial break, our Friday caller of the day worth playing right now on this, the most monitored talk show in the world.
St. Lucia is not a place that's supposed to ever miss water. One of these days, I mean, you're driving, I'm driving. I'll bring you and look and see so many intakes they have. You know, we always problem with water. You know, Lucy Lake back in the day I used to work there was a kind of way through, but right now Lucy Lake is apex now. Apex. None of them can touch Lucy Lake. You know, when Lucy Lake take up power, my goodness, they back up as by the time you say 1, 2, 3, they're up already.
Yeah. When
Wasco say they're shutting down the northern part of the island and they complain about, if you're living on the hill. We're not supposed to ever miss water, Tim. The infrastructure they know very well is bad. Right? They will, like when you have a amputee or you have gangrene, when they cut your leg, do they cut it in the gangrene or do they cut it above where that is good? Right. So why is it every time a pipe bursts or a rupture, they're going just around the area? They have to go beyond it. Are you following me so far?
So you have my undivided attention, sir.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They have to go beyond the part where that is good and cut and then put a good length so that you won't have a problem there again. The people ordering things T-boutique. They make me sign a thing of silence. They'll have to sue me. Okay. They buying T-boutique. I manage hotels. When I buy, it's a whole container. They buying T-boutique. I will not say the things that they buy T-boutique over the air, but they buy T-boutique. And they refuse to go where the source is. But they're quick to cut your fruit. If anything that you are speaking out, they'll cut your fruit. Why do they have to do that? They're afraid
they are afraid of the truth. They don't like the truth.
Well, I'll tell you, the Bible says the truth, speak the truth, and the truth will set you free. And trust me, they cannot touch me anymore. Because where I'm there, I'm beyond their touch, the rich. So I'm just saying, the poor people that out there that within their reach. I feel pity for these people. I feel sorry for them. They are sitting ducks, you know. As Rick always say, they are sitting ducks. I have to say condolences for people that are alive, because you don't know who next will be the one that's coming out, you know. So much corruption, and they do not have no impunity, you know, like they have no conscience, man. How could people laugh when people complain about crime? How could people laugh when you go about health system? People can't laugh at these things, you know. A man lose both his legs, boom. Send home, boom, he pass. That can't be right. That cannot be right. And you know the thing about it? They say a revolution starts with one person, you know. But you see, these people, they will just look at you as a heretic if one person come out, you know. But if the forces and the masses, there are people that suffering in silence. Tim, I know. I'm on the ground. One of these days I'll meet you. You know me very well, and I know you very well. But I will not move my name on the floor.
Yeah.
We need to take a stand, a serious stand. It's better we go out on a peaceful march now before they get the explosion that come in. One is coming, I'm telling you. I can feel it in the air. And anybody walking, as I said, like an ostrich and don't know what's going on, they're either deaf, dumb, or foolish, or under a spell. Because you cannot tell me every Tom, Dick, and Harry, they're even going to work like a robot. They wake up, go to work. They wake up, go to work. Wait for the fortnight. When they look at the fortnight, they're crying. When they look at the monthly, they're crying. And they're not saying nothing. They'll bring up the thing to the level of the VAT. They bring it 2.5%, and they're looking to put 2% on it again. And I hear Simpson that they want to go raise the age to 68. You know? I can't understand what's wrong with my people. I think they're bewitched, Tim. That's the only thing I can say. Normal thinking people cannot be going through that crap that's going on there and not feeling the pain. They're feeling it, but they just suffer in silence because of the fact that they know if they open their mouth, they're going to be cut down.
Bravo on High Street in Castries is having a massive clearance sale. Prices have been slashed by so much, it's ridiculous. We're talking 30 to 60% off on electrical and plumbing from now until stocks last. Yes, that means you. Whether it's a do-it-yourself fixer-upper or a full household project, come in and save big with Bravo. There's never been a better time to come down to Bravo for savings on electrical and plumbing. See you there. Sale on until stocks last. We're located next to the courthouse and electoral office.
NewsSpin is transforming how you move. With our new electric vehicle charging stations, getting a quick and reliable charge is easier than ever. From Rodney Bay to Dennery, Vieux-Fort and Soufriere, we've got you covered. Our cutting-edge network offers both fast and standard charging options. Convenient, efficient, and always ready when you are. Just download the Flash Charge app from Google Play or the Apple App Store, and with a few simple taps, you can set up an account and link it to a credit card. Find a station or scan the QR code to start charging in seconds. Lucidac is powering your journey and driving us toward a cleaner, greener future. Charge ahead with Lucidac's EV stations. Lucidac electric vehicle chargers, powering progress, energizing the future.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
St. Lucia, it's time to celebrate 46 years of independence with a big deal from KFC. Introducing the KFC Independence Big Box, packed with all your favorites for just $46. You get 5 delicious undipped wings with 1 sauce, 1 zinger or big crunch sandwich, 2 pieces of chicken, 2 regular fries, and 2 refreshing 16-ounce sodas. Perfect for sharing or keeping all to yourself, because independence is all about choice. But hurry, this big deal is only available from February 1st to February 28th. Get your Independence Big Box today, only at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Are you tired of going from doctor to doctor, spending time and money, yet still not getting the answers you need? Now, at La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence, we bring you the latest in medical technology, our state-of-the-art radiation-free full-body MRI. With unmatched accuracy, we can detect illnesses early, giving you the answers you deserve and the treatment you need, saving lives and saving money. No doctor referral needed. Results in just 24 to 48 hours. Plus, a free consultation with a doctor to explain all your results in detail. Don't wait. Take advantage of this special offer and book your full body MRI at our Cocoville, Rodney Bay, or Castries locations. Call 451-6559 now. La Clinique du Corps. Your health is our priority.
Watch this view here. If you missed it, yeah, itchy nose.
The St. Lucia National Cricket Association Prime Minister's Cup is back. It's going down at 4 venues: PI, Philip Maslet Grounds, Groseley, and Mindu Philip Park. Games will be played both day and night. Will the champions Groseley defend their title, or will we see a newly crowned champion this year? Teams taking part: last year's champion Groseley, runners-up Central Castries, South Castries, Babano, Monrepo, Mikud, Soufre, Viewfort North, Viewfort South, Denry, Choiseul, Babia Valley, and Deriso. This tournament bowls off on February 18th with defending champions Groseley coming up against Babano at 7 p.m. on the Groseley playing field. Games will be played from 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. Come out and support your favorite team. It's the St. Lucia National Cricket Association Prime Minister's Cup, coming to a venue near you. Who's gonna emerge champions this year?
Get ready for the all-in independence sale at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt. Enjoy 25% off store-wide on small appliances, housewares, tools, and so much more. Plus, don't miss out on our amazing doorbuster deals from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's the perfect time to save on your favorite brands. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Visit us at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, island-wide from February 27th to March 2nd for the all-in independence sale event. Terms and conditions may apply. See online or in-store for more.
The best of the best from the Caribbean are coming to St. Lucia for the AMBC Caribbean Boxing Championships. February 28th to March 2nd. Come see the region's finest youth, amateur, and elite boxers in action at the Boseju Indoor Facility under the theme Stronger Together. 8 countries, over 100 boxers, punches in bunches. Who will reign supreme? Come support Team St. Lucia at the AMBC Caribbean Boxing Championships from February 28th to March 2nd at the Boseju Indoor Facility from 7 p.m. nightly. Admission only $20. This event is sponsored by the National Lotteries Authority, Ministry of Youth Development and Sport, and the Government of St. Lucia. This one will be a knockout.
Thank you so much for staying with the most monitored talk show in the world. Somebody just sent me a WhatsApp. It reads, Tim, jumping from party to party is called turning tricks. It's not restlessness. It's not ambition. It's not only because of political unrest or ruru in the various parties. That's a gimmick. The trick being the art of misconception. The real problem is here, but the politicians will draw your attention elsewhere to trivial matters. It's a self-opportunistic move. Go where you can serve yourself a bigger portion of the Lucian pie and disguise it as working for the people. And sadly, the independent, no, sorry, my bad, the dependent will always fall for it because that's where the votes exist. Just my 5 cents. Another person says, Thank you, Rick. Oh, you said it best. In the chat room, Amanda, what is happening there?
Someone says there, except that the Halls of Justice project incorporates an interest rate of 10%, given that the government is effectively the guarantor of the loan taken by the contractor, this interest rate is extortionate, if not criminal. The question has to be asked as to why the government accepted this proposal. Recall that this project was not put out to tender. Another comment reads, Rick, you are on point. Claudius knew very well he was wrong. His conduct as the Speaker of the House is so clear that he was wrong. Another comment reads, if you have nothing more to lose, put fear aside and stand up. Someone says here, yes, Mr. Felix, you need to be more vocal. Why didn't you speak out and tell them how you felt? We need to hear more from you on the burning issues. A comment from earlier reads, the women afraid to come out and speak about the abuse because the law is not protecting them. Another comments, so the Speaker is reading a legal document as a layperson and thinks he has the final say. Shake my head. Someone says here, lies, lies, and lies. This is now a brilliant project and they just can't stand to see Shaz gets the credit with such a brilliant initiative. Someone here says, Virginia, I need to know about the passports in the briefcase first. A comment from earlier reads, the Labour Party fails to realize that the opposition leader represents a cross-section of the society. Why do you all want to muzzle the man and by extension the voice of the people? A comment here from earlier reads, the government of St. Lucia must pay for their... Sorry, I lost that one. I love that comment.
All right, thank you so much, Amanda. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. The landline, good afternoon. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Timothy Poleon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. I want any government that's going to represent the people of St. Lucia to appoint a those team like Donald Trump with Elon Musk to investigate the money laundering of government funds in the hands of criminals. There are government ministers pretending as if they care about the people, but creating contracts for criminals that never contribute to the NIC. They have big vans driving. They own properties. They never work nowhere. We know. We can see the ministers come in and make them dirty deals with these criminal elements. They know themselves in Castries East. Okay, they know it. They just never feel that don't making no sense. People not even using the field, but big excavator on the field, Mr. Poleon. We know what the people doing. It's only when you, the small man, do something, they want to cripple you. You can even send $3,000 US in St. Lucia to a friend of yours in Dominica who has a boat problem. But yeah, they can smuggle money. We've seen it. These ministers, I tell you, anyone that want to come and represent the people, they must be prepared to have a team that investigates the government money laundering scheme that's going on in Castries East. Timothy, tell the police, because I can't tell them that. Come up on the door and ask questions. The investigators, tell them come, because everybody can see what's going on. How one criminal can get so many contracts. Yeah, working nowhere. Man that working contributing to the NIC can get nothing. And them people are contributing. They have a number of vehicles. They buy properties everywhere. Who are these people? Where these monies coming from? The boy not saying nothing. Again, like the last statement you played. When you talk, they want to kill you. But I always tell them useless idiots that killing people around the place. Stop killing friendly citizens. Okay? Stop killing friendly citizens. Kill somebody that will respond. Okay? These people are a bunch of, I don't know what to call them. These politicians, we know them. We see what they're doing. We know them, Tim. It's time for an investigation in the money laundering in Castries East. We're calling on the government because it has been going on not just in this administration. The former administration in the same Castries East, in the same money laundering problem that's going on there. People getting big checks on their name, giving people to go and change in bank and paying people $5,000 to change check in Castries East. Timothy, they hate. There's nothing they don't know. It's going on. Government checks. People getting checks on their name, and people going to change it for them, and you've been paid $5,000 to a fee. Money laundering in Castries East. That's the point of the bring across. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, come here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. We have another call on the line. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Timothy, a pleasant good afternoon to you and your listeners all over the world, PW on the line. First of all, I'd like to commend Sarah Flood-Bobre on her contribution today. She was very accurate in letting you know about the demise of this young lady that got stabbed multiple times. And what she said, we all know. It's on the ground. And we all know it's in our face, but we don't want to say nothing. I'd like to commend also Rick Wayne on his contribution today.
Caller, you commenting or you want to make a series? Oh, no, hold on, caller. Hold on. Caller, time is against us. This is not a request program where you call to commend people. Make your point.
I'm making a contribution, Timothy.
Yeah.
I would like to say we need constitution reform. There are too many recycling persons in government, Timothy. The St. Lucia Labour Party has the biggest recycling plant on the island, Timothy. You have people people that have actually been appointed and have placed in government, and they were there before, and they did very little for the country. And now we still have them in place. One of the things that we go wrong in, Timothy, when these people are appointed in senior positions to govern this country, we need to put these people before a hearing, a panel, and they have to be questioned by this panel to see what their intentions are, whether they come to these positions to assist and help and govern this country in the right way, and not to support one party over the other. The United Workers' Party needs to take a page, and I'm saying that the St. Lucia Labour Party has planted all the agencies in various departments in government, and we have to root them out. They have infiltrated every single department, every statutory board in St. Lucia. And one of the things I want Mr. Alan Shastney to do, to actually get rid of some of these people that have been planted in these government institutions, Timothy. Because if he doesn't do that, this country is on a downfall. And I can tell you, in this country, we will never see the daylight of what we need to achieve to make this country a better place. Timothy, I thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's see, we'll take at least two more calls, and then we'll conclude our broadcast. We have a WhatsApp message. Tim, what is the role of the speaker? I've never heard of a speaker going to look for documentation and all that. Mr. Francis needs to take a chill pill. Stop letting the little speaker position get his head blown up out of proportion and control his dislike for the leader of the opposition. Richard Frederick stood and spoke completely off topic in the House yesterday, whereas the Child Justice Act Amendment Bill was being tabled. And he, the speaker, allowed Richard to go on a tirade attacking Mr. Shastney and never had a problem. The bias is clear and the disrespect is palpable. We have another call on the line. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Hey, good day, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, what I want to say, right? If you change your talk show into action show rather than talk show, maybe something will happen in this country. Because we only talk and talk and talk and nothing happens. You understand me? That's what I wanted to say.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for sharing that point of view with us. Let's see if we have a final report with regard to what's happening in the chat room, and then we'll take a final call. Amanda.
Just a few comments I missed from earlier. Someone says there the government of St. Lucia must pay for their nonsense. Cutting the sound was unacceptable and disrespectful to the people of St. Lucia. We put all of y'all out there. We deserve to hear what is going on. Dictatorship in full force. Another comment, I never knew that the Speaker of Parliament is part of the debate only in the PJP administration. Another comment in the chat room, someone says, until St. Lucia sinks to the bottom of the ocean, it's almost there. Or the dormant volcano in Soufrière blows the entire island to bits. The St. Lucia Labour Party will continue to squeeze blood out of the people until all are zombified. St. Lucia, okay.
Okay, I think we'll take a final call. Final WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tim, and to your viewers and to this young lady. Have a blessed day. Tim,
Good afternoon to you.
I am happy that I am your last caller for the day. Tim, I want to share with you something that was shared with me last night from yesterday. Mr. Shelton Daniel, I'm sure you have heard about his show. I have never listened to him. However, I was told yesterday that, the clip was sent to me that Mr. Daniel said on his show that how...
Hello?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you, caller.
Hello?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
How Jacinta Lee, myself, I think Nancy, he said we are not speaking up. They have not heard us, and yet the supporters of the United Workers' Party are asking for us. I'm asking the Labour Party ministers and MPs, female ministers and MPs, to speak up on the murders of the two young women. Tim, we are not heads of any NGOs, female NGOs or women's NGOs. We are not in Parliament or in the Senate. We are just ordinary citizens supporting a political party, and we speak up. As far as I know, the females in the United Workers' Party has used, including myself, have gone on social media, and we have spoken and denounced any kind of violence that happens in the country, but especially the violence to women. Tim, you cannot equate young men involved in crime, killing each other, which is sad, which is terrible for the country. But you cannot equate it to women being raped and murdered. There is a difference, Tim. So when I hear a minister saying, I'm in gender affairs, and I must be concerned about both men and women, yes, you have to be, but you cannot equate that murdering and raping of women. Tim, let me tell you something. I'll give you a little history. When I was a public servant, I was an executive officer. Rufina Paul was a senior public officer. You know what the two of us did when Valerie Lord was murdered? We joined Ione Alingaford, who was then, because we too were members of the crisis center, we rallied a whole set of women, and we matched the city of Castries without care or fear of losing our jobs as public officers, without even asking the police for permission. And we had this big rally on the square. I don't know if you remembered. 3 of us decided to do that. We didn't wait for anybody. We felt that this thing of Valerie Lord was wrong, and we stood up and we fought. Tim, what has happened to all the NGOs? When Geraldine Rock gave up her position as president of the National Council for Voluntary Women's Association, she handed the baton over to me. I became the next president. When I left St. Lucia, Favia Sherry took over, and she then went on to CAFRA. Dr. Virginia Albert became then the president of the National Council for Voluntary Women's Organizations. Tim, what has happened to those organizations? What has happened to the Crisis Center? What is happening to those organizations, women organizations and NGOs and the department that is paid by the taxpayers' money? Why would Mr. Daniel be expecting lay women to be the voice, the ones in front, when not, and then excusing the women who are paid by the taxpayers, who will not speak on matters that concerns women being raped and murdered? Tim, what is wrong with our thinking in this country. Where have we gone wrong? What has caused women to be silent? What has caused them to be fearful of speaking up, of taking up the role and the mantle of saying, this is wrong, and the government needs to take accountable, because you're put in there by the people to right the wrong. You're put in there by the people to make things easier and safer and better. What is wrong in us than to ask lay people who in their own rights are doing what they can in their own efforts, but you're asking, lay women to do it, and you're making excuses for the MPs and the senators that are being paid by the people that have been voted in by the people. Tim, you know why one thing I will always respect Sarah Flood for? She stood up against her government. She put her democratic rights above affiliation to party when she stood up against a bill on abortion. We women in Parliament need to be able to stand on our democratic right, which constitutionally give us the right above all other laws organizations can put up. We have the right of freedom of expression and freedom of association. People keep forgetting that. If you feel something is wrong, and you care about your country and you feel it's your right to speak about it, you have a right to come out and speak. Stop playing the blame game. Stop passing the buck. Stand up and do what is right. And those female MPs, I'm telling you, you may come out there and say the nonsense that you say. It will not be accepted, because you as women, when you had a voice, ask Virginia Albert what happened. The Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert, ask her what happened to the national women's organizations that she was heading. What has she done with them? What is she doing with the crisis center? What is she mobilizing to try to help women who are fearful for their lives when men want to attack them? What is she doing with those young girls to guide them from getting themselves involved in things that will cause them to be raped and murdered? Ask her about that, and stop asking us who are not paid, who are doing our own things on the side where we can on social media. Tell her to stand up or give up the role that she has. All of them give up the roles and let the people that can do it do it. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much. That was our final caller on this, the most monitored talk show in the world. Don't forget to join me this evening, 7 o'clock, for the DBS News World. And again at 8:30 for Newsmaker Live. My guest is the leader of the Parliamentary Opposition and MP for Miku South, Mr. Alan Shastney. My name is Timothy Poleon, saying goodbye and see you next time.